Today I want to make some cookies with this freeze-dried orange. So I'm just crunching this up and removing the peel and the pith. If you peel these before freeze drying, I think this step would obviously be faster because you could just throw it straight into the food processor. And then I'm going to mix this up with sugar. Then I'm gonna add my thawed puff pastry on top, press it in. Of course, you can make your own puff pastry if you like. I just wanted the convenience of store-bought. And I want every inch of this to be covered in sugar. It's like coming off. I should have wet it before or something. All right, so we're just gonna roll this up on each side and add as much sugar on each layer as you can. All right, so wrap this in saran wrap, throw in the freezer for 30 minutes, and then we'll go from there. All right, so our oven is preheated to 400. I'm just gonna cut these up and put them on the tray. So these go in for 8 to 10 minutes, and then you flip them, and then do about 5 to 7. Or just until they're a nice golden brown. They're not done. All right, we had a few mishaps, so we're gonna take them out right now and talk about it. The outside crust burnt before the inside was done. They taste okay, but they look pretty ugly. Yeah, that's bad. So it didn't work, but I think I know how to fix this. Time for our second attempt. I think the reason that it burned before is because this wasn't rehydrated. So we're gonna add just a little bit of water before we mix it with the sugar. We are also going to do some orange zest as well, so hopefully that adds a little more flavor. So I'm gonna add just a little spoonful of warm water and mix this all up. Maybe another little spoonful. And then I'll just add a tiny bit more water. We're also gonna do a little half sheet of a puff pastry just because in case this doesn't work, we don't want to waste a ton of puff pastry, so this is a smaller quantity than we usually would do. Now I'm gonna add the sugar on top just a little bit at a time. And we're looking for kind of a slightly drier texture. Okay, that looks nice and sugary. So there's a lot of flour that comes on the store-bought one, so I'm going to add just a little bit of water to the outside, just to kind of prep it for this sugar mixture. Just to get it kind of sticky. Then I'm gonna just add the sugar on top. Just dump it on there. And roll that into the puff pastry. So this definitely sticks to the puff pastry better. I think last time it was a little too crumbly, fell off a little too much. So the other side, oh, maybe it's a little too sticky. These are also just a little experiment to see if it will burn, less how perfect we can make these look. It looks a little patchy, and all this orange that is like coming off on the cutting board, I'm just putting back on the dough. And now I'm going to roll them, wrap them up, freeze them for 30 minutes, and then come back. I don't know how to open this. We're just gonna. I'll just go right there. Already, they're looking way better than before. They are slightly tackier though. At least they're not burnt the same way they were last time. But look how soft they are. They're usually supposed to be more crispy at this point. La la la. Ooh, they may not be done. So they are starting to look crispy and nice, but some of the centers are still a little tender because they're supposed to be a pretty like stiff cookie. So I'm gonna put them in just like for a minute more. They're looking good. So I just got these out of the oven and they're still a little tender in the centers, but they're still hot. So possibly as they cool, they may harden more. Honestly, I'd say this worked really well, especially compared to last time. When you zest a fresh orange, there's not actually a ton of water in that zest. So we might have added a little too much water when we rehydrated, but these look really good. So if you tinker with that, I think this method actually works pretty well. We will do a little taste test once these are cool. Let's try a piece. So they are still a little tender in the middle, but again, if you adjusted the moisture to rehydrate the citrus, I do think it could do better in that regard. So let's try it. So honestly, it still gives a pretty good orange flavor. I do wonder if you add more orange zest, if it would work better. It's not exactly the same as with fresh orange zest, but honestly, a really good option, especially with just things you have on hand. And the outside is my favorite part. It's the crispy bit, but it's obviously not burnt like the first time. 10 out of 10, I recommend trying this. I think it kind of just goes to show that there's a lot more options with using freeze-dried fruit than we realized. So definitely give things a try, experiment a little bit. Have a good day.